Welcome everybody, Small Business Stacey here with another episode of Small Business Marketing Success Interviews. I am so excited to share with you today's guest, who is Ruth Malkin. Now, Ruth is a top performing realtor in the greater Boston area. Hi, I'm Small Business Stacey.
I'm Digital Dave.
Where marketing
meets technology.
So much so that she actually has her own hashtag, which is hashtag Ruth Rocks, because she really does. So welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Thank you. I'm so glad to be talking to you about this. Thank you.
Well, absolutely, because Ruth has been in real estate for a long time, and I'm going to give her a minute to introduce herself. But she has built really a business on her terms. So if you're listening or watching today, whether you're a realtor or just a small business owner, there are going to be many business building lessons that Ruth is going to teach you, because it not only is a single mom, but she has built this successful and profitable business on her terms. She's constantly traveling, going out, living the life, and loving everything that she does. So I know that we're all going to leave today with a lot of great, not only business, but marketing lessons as well. So Ruth, tell us a little, usually when I introduce people, I have this bio, which to me, bio means boring. So I'm just going to hand it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So first of all, thank you for the very generous introduction. I have, I believe, created a business on my own terms, and that's really, to me, the punchline of life, and is really building whatever business you want to build around the lifestyle you want to have. So the way I got into it is I got an MBA. It was the year 2000, and the market was crashing, and things were not going well. But I did get a couple of job offers, and I realized that I don't want a job. I'm willing to work, but I don't want a job. I can't be cooped up. So I decided to just get into real estate. I knew nothing about it when I got in. I interviewed some companies. They loved me. They said, go get a license. I got a license, and I just started working. And actually, then I stopped to be a stay-at-home mom and housewife for a few years, and I had my children, and then out of necessity, I had to go back to work some years ago and completely start from scratch and build a business from scratch starting 2013. So as you mentioned, I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. I got 2 kids, and we need to figure out how to balance time with the children and time for ourselves and time for sanity, and still be able to service these amazing clients that keep pouring in.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a little bit about the professional you, but I think the people out there want to know about the real you. Well, I've got some questions for you.
All right.
And I'll be fair about it. There's no right or wrong answers. Smooth jazz or classical?
Classical.
Okay. Carnival?
But I will say I have a collection of avant-garde jazz.
Okay.
So it's smooth jazz, no, but classical and avant-garde jazz. So.
Okay.
Sorry. Go.
Okay, number 2, carnival or circus?
Oh God. I just want to stay at home. I think I prefer a carnival because it just keeps moving and there's usually no animals involved.
Okay. And since you're a realtor, have to ask this one, rugs or hardwood floors?
Hardwood floors.
More because they help sell the home, or just because you like them?
Because I don't like wall-to-wall carpeting. I just don't enjoy it. And I have a special, if we're getting personal, I have a special interest specifically in area rugs and carpets as an art form. I have a collection of Oriental rugs and interesting rugs in my home. So you can't have Orientals on carpet. You have to have them on hardwood. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there is your realtor lesson for today. All right. So you explained a little bit about your background. I mean, you didn't like grow up saying, "I want to be a realtor," right? You
No.
sort of started as an MBA and decided to throw yourself out into the entrepreneurial world. But let's sort of face it, like a realtor is a realtor, right? I mean, we all get those little postcards in our mailbox, and it seems like everybody knows a realtor. So how have you differentiated yourself out of all the competition out there?
So there is a lot of competition, especially in a high-end market like Boston. We're looking at a very high average price, and the higher the price range, the harder the competition, and the fewer sales you end up having. But so differentiation was extremely important from the beginning. So at the start, when I just started, the way I differentiated myself was simply to, on my business card, everybody had suits, gray,
Mhm.
black suits. I bought a red Dolce& and Gabbana suit, and this is maybe 15 years ago. And I had my photo taken. It was with a photographer. It was a completely different photograph than everybody was doing at the time. With my hair out, it was unheard of to walk around with your hair like this to sell real estate or to sell anything. So it started out with really a look that, and I did get a lot of comments that people recognized me from the cards, from those little postcards I would send in the mail. People would recognize me just because it was so distinctive and I was just so different looking than everybody else. I wasn't trying to look the part. So the thing about real estate, it's all personality. It's about working with people. Everybody, I believe, everybody has housing needs, and there's a realtor that is going to work well with you, and they're not going to work well with other people. So a lot of this is personality, but um, to have the personality in order to be able to capture a lot of the market and to do very well in it, um, it was a lot of um, mindset work, a lot of practice, a lot of learning from experiences, and just getting honing in on my skills very, very much, while other people are very haphazard about what they're doing. In real estate, I was very strategic about whether it's developing my skill set, whether it's spending years, as you know, doing marketing very specifically, whatever it is, I'm very strategic, specific, and there's a goal in mind, and there's a way to get there, and I don't give up. I think also my personality is just lends itself to this kind of business because people think of salespeople as very outgoing and very flamboyant or very extroverted. I'm actually very introverted, which I think makes most people more comfortable in a sales situation. I have I never push. I never feel like I'm selling anybody anything. I'm just there to help people make a decision, and I think that comes through very easily. I always put clients ahead of commission.
Mhm.
That's what I tell the people who work for me always: clients ahead of commission. You don't calculate your commission until you've made a sale that is in the very, very best interest of your clients. And to really adhere and really have that intention into every single meeting, every single situation you're in.
There's a lot of great nuggets in there. I mean, one is that you differentiated yourself by not doing what I call ant marketing, which is following and doing what all the other ants are doing, right? You
Yeah, yeah,
differentiate by, hey, I'm just going to be myself,
yeah.
I don't need to be a clone of what everybody else is doing. And then you also, just by you're being yourself and you're being a go-giver. And I think your tagline sort of explains it all, which is I help people make great real estate decisions.
That is, yeah, and that's a tagline um, I've had for several years because it is just the most real thing I can say. Whether it has a good sound to it or not is irrelevant. It's just truly what I do.
Right. So I'm not here to, my tagline isn't, I want to sell you more real estate. I want to help you make great real estate decisions. So have you ever then been in a situation where it means not selling a property?
Often, often. Yeah. So, just yesterday, I have a client. She's not sure if she does want to sell or doesn't want to sell, or keep renting her investment property, and she's very confused about it. And um, when people are in these dilemmas, I always make sure that my clients know I support either decision. Um, there's no, there. It doesn't matter to me if they decide not to sell. I make sure that they're very comfortable with that decision if that's the right decision for them. Sometimes it's not the right decision. Sometimes it's not the right financial decision. I sat with a family a couple of weeks ago, and we looked at the numbers, and it just did not make sense to sell for the goals they had. I need to know why people want to sell their home before I can consult them on how to sell it. I always first ask, why are you selling it? And sometimes I just realize this is not how you're going to get from here to there. Let's think about it this way. I can think of it as this is to my detriment, or I can think of it as this is going to be a lifelong friendship, client, relationship, referral source. People are grateful when somebody comes in who can see a situation, who has seen the situation a million times, and be able to say, well, let's look at it clearly. And that's my job, because if I'm to help people make great real estate decision, it has nothing to do with whether it's sell or not. It's about how real estate is fitting into their life at this moment.
I love that. Gosh. And it made me think like there's really, I think there's sort of three M's to what you do. There's mindset, marketing, and money.
Yeah.
And so I would love for you to touch on sort of all three of those. So when it comes to mindset, how can a realtor sort of get their head clear so that they can be successful? Like where do you start?
I think the first thing that a lot of people are missing is to really truly understand fiduciary obligation to clients. People get caught up in a lot of drama, and if they're caught up in drama when they're thinking about things other than what is the best thing for my client at this moment, so that's when they may start making mistakes. That's when they start giving bad advice, or giving advice that's more about closing a deal than doing what's best for the client. So the very first step, I think, when I really became um, when fiduciary obligation, in the very legal sense of it, became my intention in every single thing I do, things started going a lot more smoothly for me, first of all, because it's very easy. Who is your client, and what are you doing for them at this moment? That's the only thing that should be leading your activities. Number two, and so that's one part of the mindset. In terms of just, we do have to maintain a positive disposition going about any entrepreneurial endeavor. If we don't have a continuous belief in ourselves, even on our worst days, and even of our worst moments, it's just not going to happen. It is simply not going to happen. So you have to do whatever it is you have to do, whether it's hiring mentors or coaches, or whether it's listening to audiobooks in the car instead of pop music. Turn that off, put in inspiring audiobooks. I do a lot of Audible. I have a lot of Audible. I have an Audible subscription, and I constantly listening to something, especially when things are wrong or feel bad. I'm like, okay, that's my cue to put something on that is going to help me turn around. For some people, it's meditation. For some people, it's visualization. Whatever it is you have to do, and it took me years of trial and error, and I don't think there's any one way to go about it. But you have to make a commitment that whether you're in the car or waking up earlier in the morning than the rest of the family, or whatever it is, you have to take time out to work on maintaining your positive attitude and disposition. It changes everything.
It's a head game, right?
It's a head game. It's a head game. And you also you asked about mindset, which is to me the number one. I mean, the brokerage firm I work in, the owner asked me just a couple months ago, he said, you doubled your business from last year. What changed? And the only thing that came to mind was mindset.
Hmm.
So the other aspects of it, you asked me about money and the 3 M's, mindset, money, and what was the third? I'm sorry.
Marketing. We're going to talk about that. So let's do the
Okay.
money.
Yeah. So money, yeah, I'm money. I just, in terms of my relationship with money, or um,
I guess
you,
there's the money of, I guess, pricing a home, right? And then
yeah,
there's sort of the money of, let's talk about it from the perspective of managing a business, because
yeah.
there's marketing and there's money, right? You've got to invest in your business. So talk about how you do that as a realtor.
So I invest very generously in the business. Um, I see it as my, other than, maintaining a home and food on the table, it is a priority, is the business. I believe in growth. I believe you have to spend money. You have to spend it wisely, though, and strategically. So I think long and hard before I spend that money, but I spend, and I think the most important money you can spend is on the people that help you achieve your goals, who know a lot of stuff better than you do. I think that's the best investment, is in having just great people around you.
That's a great lesson, because a lot of times, especially entrepreneurs, we can be a little bullheaded, right? Because we own our own business, we run our own, we're a realtor, we know it all, right? And so you got to realize that in order to grow and double your business like you did, you have to build a team around you.
You do. You can't do things alone, and that took me a while to learn that I can't do this alone. Alone, I'm never going to develop beyond 7 million or 8 million, which was a good living, but it's not where I wanted to be. As
Hmm.
soon as I let that go and let the purse strings go a little bit, I don't spend without thinking, but as long once I've put some things on credit, some marketing, and decided to hire people, great people around me, and pay without arguing, and hire people that I trust with things. Um, things things opened up. Everything started opening up. So money, money circulates, and if it doesn't circulate, it's like it's pain, just like when blood doesn't circulate in your body, it doesn't feel good.
Hmm.
So you got to let the money circulate, and more comes.
Okay. Well, then that's a perfect transition into marketing,
Yes.
because a realtor, they have to do marketing, right? But this is where a lot of them get stuck. Like, well, what do I do? And then they get into the ant marketing, just doing what everyone else is
Yeah.
doing. And
Yeah.
you talked about how you differentiate yourself. Let's get into the more specifics of the marketing. Like, what do you feel like has really differentiated your business when it comes to marketing? How are you using marketing to grow and double your practice?
So I'm very much, if everybody's doing XYZ, I'm going to do ABC. I'm very much like that, because it's very easy to get lost in this world I'm in, which has a ton of competition. So I've done, as you know, a lot of competitive research to know what competitors are doing, and try to fill in spaces where I know things are lacking, and very much go about things strategically, look for the opportunities in the marketplace. We have suburbs that are terribly underserved. You'd think that, where you have the average price of a home is $1.5 million, everybody will be all over it, but nobody's strategic about it. Um, so once you become strategic and you're a better realtor, you get hired much more often.
Hmm. So is it about then going deep? So instead of like, I serve all of Greater Boston, are you focusing in on just a few
Yes,
areas?
you have to focus. I mean, with every marketing effort, and I think we're learning that we're getting that lesson in our face with hashtags and with social media, that unless you get really specific about who your client is, unless you're really very specific about who you want to serve, who you're going to serve, you're not going to be able to craft a message that anybody wants to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So realtors are so afraid of going specific, but when you go specific, it opens up doors. It really, and suddenly you're the expert of X, and suddenly you are a leader in that specific community, whether it's a geographic community or any other kind of community. There are a million different ways to kind of craft your niche in real estate. But the point is that without getting specific, you're just another realtor out there. You're not the expert of whatever. The fear is, if I become an expert in condos, which I am, I'm an expert in specifically condos, specifically lower end of the market of condos. That's my specialty. It doesn't mean I'm not selling $2-3 million houses. It doesn't exclude anything. But I can't be the jack of all trades. I can't be everything to everybody. And without being being specific and crafting a message specifically to the lower end condo market in the neighborhood I serve, this is what's creating a regular business. This is what's creating a cash cow, if you will. That's what's creating people who are like, well, of course we're going to call Ruth. I don't know them, but they know me. So it doesn't exclude anything, but it also allows you to serve people really, really well, because you know people something better than most when you become an expert and when you craft yourself a business that's around a specific audience. You become an expert and you serve better as well.
You have done that so well, Ruth. I mean, in full disclosure, Ruth is a client of mine. She's been one of my very long-term marketing clients. And she listens and she puts into action everything that I suggest to her. And as you might imagine, real estate is a very competitive market. You've got big name people, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, realestate.com. They're all on the first page. But you know what? So is Ruth. Because of what she just said. She's getting found organically by focusing in on like condo conversions and creating content on that. And she'll do a video and then repurpose it into a blog. And then, so you're doing
content.
Content. And so go ahead.
I know. Well, I wanted to also say, in the context of working with you, one of the reasons I wanted to work with you, and I think this relationship has been so successful for years for us, is that you have the benefit of having worked in other industries. You're not specifically a real estate marketing person. And when I wanted to hire somebody to help me out, I realized that the people doing real estate marketing, they're just streamlining a bunch of realtors. I want somebody with a completely different way of looking at things, from a different perspective, to give it a little bit of an edge, which is exactly what you've done. And that perspective, that non-real estate perspective, has been extremely helpful. So it's about marketing is marketing. I mean, there are certain ways to go about it, and it's also, as you know, ever changing. I mean, how many times have we had to change a strategy because it's like, okay, this is not going to work? How many things have we tested and just said, well, let's try this out. Here's an idea. Let's do this. Let's do that, and see where it goes. We've done that a lot too. Being flexible, having a strategy and a goal, but being flexible within that. But the one thing that's most important is the consistency in mailings, in content, in whatever it is you're doing. Just be consistent.
I think what you do really well, Ruth, is that it's not about doing a lot of things. You do a few things well,
Yeah.
and then wash, lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And while I see a lot of realtors throwing, I mean, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a month at advertising, your strategy is very organically driven.
Yeah.
You're really leveraging the power of social media, and everybody's on social. So I'd love for you to spend like a minute or two sort of sharing the key things that you leverage social, because you weren't even doing it at all just a few years ago.
Yeah. So, social is not intuitive for me, or it wasn't. And then I started looking at it as just an extension of personal relationships. Um, Social has allowed me to connect with my clients, or almost clients, or soon to be clients. I shamelessly just friend people. If they friend me back, I pretty much know we're gonna work together in the future if we haven't yet, because if people like you, they will hire you, and if people feel more connected to you. So there is, social has, on the first place, allowed me to, the first step, in a sense, getting into social was seeing it as an extension of these personal relationships with clients. And being just, a person out there with kids, with a picture of the kids, with the pictures of my messy house, with the whatever it is, and just being part of a community of humans, And then it also extended to, um, like we said, about having an expertise and showing it. I do a ton of videos, and anybody looks at my videos, I don't dress up. Whatever I'm wearing that day, I don't do my hair. Whatever I'm wearing that day, if it today I have that splash of inspiration for a video, or today's the day that Stacey said get your videos done, whichever one it is, I just take out, if I remember the selfie stick, if I don't, I don't. Take out the camera, stand outside the car, and just talk, as I am. And I think everybody's kind of sick of everything being so overproduced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your
That,
unscripted ones do the best.
and well, they've never been a scripted one. So I'm unscripted. I don't even do presentations for clients. Like, I just have conversations. So it's just another conversation. Here's what's going on. I hope this is helpful. Keep it short. Respect people's time. Respect people's time, and just keep it short. Anybody starting a video of Ruth know it's almost over. And if you don't have anything to say, then don't say anything. I also believe that. I don't just do a video for the sake of doing a video. I don't want to be associated with unimportant or uninteresting content. I'd rather have less content that is valuable, because when it's valuable, people will click on it.
That's right.
People will watch it. And so I have a commitment to creating either value. It needs to be about value or a connection.
Awesome. Let's take the social media thing one step further.
Okay.
The key part of social is reputation, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much what you say about yourself, it's what other people say about you. And especially when it comes to hiring a realtor, I mean, you want to know that you've got somebody who's going to market the property and ultimately sell it or help you find your new home. So talk a little about your reputation, because so many realtors, as I've helped you do your competitive analysis, nobody focuses on this. And I think that's a key part of why, you have people calling you up saying, Ruth, I'm working with you. I don't know you, but I'm working with you.
And we've had a lot of clients like that. I have a buyer who came to me like that last year, and since then he's done 3 transactions. He just called up. He said, I'm looking at your Zillow profile. You're now my agent. I've already located a property I want to buy. When can you meet me in the office to write up an offer? Okay. That's a great phone call. I've had phone calls of, Ruth, come list our home. They don't even talk to other agents. Now, even if they do in a competitive situation, I still do well, because people will check reviews for reviews. I have think now it's 58 or 59
Yeah.
5-star reviews on Zillow. I just got a couple more in the last 2 days. Um, I always say my clients are very generous. They are very generous with their reviews. And I think having that and having them posted, whether they post it on Google or Facebook or wherever it is, getting that review is I almost equate it as important as the commission. Like I better earn it. I'm going to earn that review, which means I'm going to do whatever I need to do for my clients to get wherever they need to get to. So reviews have helped tremendously. I know some agents are, if they do get a review, they put them on Facebook. I mean, they share them. I don't share them. I don't think anybody needs to read it unless on my social media. I don't do that. Some people do that. To me, it's just a lot of gratification and ultimately long-term business from other people reading it. So it's been so helpful in that sense. It's been so incredibly helpful.
I commend you. Yeah. And right, these aren't just 1-star reviews. You have all 5-star reviews.
5-star reviews. Yeah.
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 Congratulations.
I'm grateful. I'm very I have generous clients. I work with really nice people. So I hope
I'm sure it goes both ways, Ruth. I'm sure they love you as well, obviously. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. And that's, the real estate industry has really changed over the past few years because now everybody's online. And with real estate, I mean, it being so visual too. I mean, you can go onto Zillow and, see the property, and you can work with Redfin, a discounted broker. Like, how do you see the online world transforming the whole real estate industry?
um
Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, how do
I'm
you,
I
as a realtor,
love
how do you deal with it?
I love that home buyers and home sellers and homeowners have access to information. I think information, um, the more information, the merrier. I believe in transparency. I believe I used to work as an economist, and that's what I
Mhm.
studied. So I'm very much into it's a fundamental aspect of capitalism where you have information available to people at all times. So some people are threatened by that. I am not. I've leveraged Zillow. I know a lot of people got scared of Zillow or complaining about Zillow. I've leveraged it because it's part of life. Redfin is out there. I've never lost a listing to a discount broker.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do what I do, and a Redfin agent is going to do what they do. It's a completely different model. It's a completely different agent. It's for people who believe they want to do most of the thinking themselves, that they're not going to need.
Oh no, might have lost
Happy
us.
they have that. I'm happy
Okay.
they.
Sorry, there was a little blip in, you came out for a minute, so I didn't hear what you
Oh,
said.
okay. So let me just say about Zillow and Redfin and whatever else is going on. I think I love that there is plenty of information out there for homeowners, and um, I believe in that transparency. I think that's a good thing. My job is not to just simply provide information. So it's good that all the public records are out there and people want to do their own research. That's great. And people want to see what's on the market. A lot of the showing requests I get from my clients is we saw this and that on Redfin. We saw this and that on Zillow. I'm not threatened by it. I know a lot of people are. That's fine by me. There are going to be different types of real estate agents out there. There are going to be full service agents like me. There are
Mhm.
going to be partial service or minimal service agents as well. And people will have variety. People can pick and choose. Uh, I it's just part of life. I don't think that the whole industry is going to change um, in terms of the use and need for full service agents. In fact, I think what's going to happen is that full service agents that are doing well are going to end up taking up more market share and dominating more and going and working with companies that expect phenomenal service, that expect agents to be a lot more than what they were in the past. And these are the people that are going to survive the business. So I think for me, I think the industry looks great for somebody like me, for full service agents who are really taking their business very seriously.
I commend you because you're not letting yourself be a commodity and downplay all your commissions, etc. You've claimed your territory, you know your value, and people are willing to pay for that. So,
people are. I don't think we're dealing with huge amounts of money, Stacey. These are, and so I don't think people are going to let go of 1.5% of commission to have to scratch their heads and do everything on their own, or to hire somebody who doesn't believe they're worth it. Or hire somebody who doesn't have, 59 5-star reviews on Zillow or whatever it is. So people want people want to be able to trust somebody with this process. It's a complicated, long, arduous, and unpleasant process. It's considered one of the most stressful processes in a person's life is to buy or sell a home. My job is to take the edge off. And people will, most of the agents who are incapable of doing that, I think may not do well. So
I agree with you. It's commendable how you've built your business. And as we alluded to in the beginning, you've built this business on your terms. And I think, I know, other realtors have now come to you saying, oh my God, Ruth, you've built an amazing, I want to do what you've done,
Yeah.
which I think brings up the fourth M, which is mentoring.
Yeah.
And so now you help other realtors, right? When they come to you, you help them learn what you've done to build your business.
So that's one way to say it. It's more about helping them figure out what's their way to build their business, because I need to build a business that works with my specific life and lifestyle. And that's going to be something different for someone else. How do we provide phenomenal service and still lead a happy life and good life? How do we say no to business that's not lining up with our values? How to really leverage marketing in a way and be consistent. As I said, that consistency of whatever you're doing, what are the things that you should be doing, that every different agent should be doing. So my strategy may not work for somebody else. Somebody else doesn't want to get out of the car and make a video. And I can tell them that that's what they want to do. And that's what I can tell them this is what you need to do. That's what all the coaching programs out there are saying. Okay, make a video here and do this and do that, and here's your formula. And I believe these formulas don't work because they don't reflect whatever it is you want to do. We don't have a boss over our head telling us, get this done. So we need to find a way to build a business where we're doing our marketing consistently. And the only way to do our marketing consistently, if we're doing something we enjoy doing, or we feel we're good at it. The best of both worlds, if we find something we enjoy and we're good at it, and do it consistently. Some people are just all about direct mail, massive amounts of direct mail. That's fine. Some people are getting on the phone and calling. I was told at the beginning of my career, I have to do cold calling. I absolutely have to do cold calling. And I said, I absolutely do not, because that doesn't work with who I am, because I never want to receive a cold call. I'm not going to do that to somebody else. So some people are great at it. So the point is that to give people the permission to build a business that works around their life, their skills, their personality. So first we get that permission to do it our own way. And once we own that, we then start building a strategy that works for them.
I love that, Ruth, because although realtors are reaching out to you saying, oh my God, you're so successful, teach me how to do it, you're sort of saying, yeah, I can sort of show you what I did, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Let me help you figure out what works for you so you can have the same results, but on your terms.
Yeah. So a lot of conversations start with, what do you want to do? Nobody has ever asks anybody what they want. What makes you happy, or what do you enjoy, or what you're good at? A lot of these conversations are about, here's what you're supposed to be doing. And I just don't believe in that, because this is such a personality driven business that somebody just cannot get their head wrapped around social media. They'll never be consistent on it. What is the point of stressing them out so they walk around feeling like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? It just adds to your stress. This is not helpful in any way. Some people are great at events, then do events. For me, I've been told a million times we should do client events. That's just not for it's not my cup of tea. I'm not going to come at my very best. So what's the point? I'd rather give him a call, all my clients, and say hi, or write them a text. It's a better way for me. So everybody is supposed to do whatever they're really good at, whatever they enjoy. You build a better business that way. You're a better agent that way. But it all starts with a permission.
Okay. Well, in closing this out, what words of advice would you give to a realtor who may be struggling? I mean, it could be somebody who's just new coming into the business, doesn't really know where to start, feels completely overwhelmed, or somebody who's been in it for a while but really isn't happy with their business and the results they're achieving. And maybe they're two different, words of advice, but what would you tell them?
I don't think they're different words of advice, because ultimately, it all comes down to the same thing. You need to have a goal. You need to have very specific goals of what you want to achieve, of things that you really do want to achieve, not something somebody else told you you should be achieving. Once you have those goals, you have to be fanatical about them and do whatever is necessary to achieve them. And sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes you're going to fall on your face. Sometimes you're going to have a really stupid idea, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But it's just another step to achieving your goal. You have to be fanatical about your goals. I know my goals every single day, every single moment for the year. You just, hey, what are your goals for the year? I know exactly what they are, and you have to be very crystal clear about that. Having a plan to achieve those goals doesn't have to be crystal clear. Just start. Just do something. It will bring you closer, even if it means that you just learned how not to do it. Just be fanatical about it. And a big part of it is, as we said right at the beginning, you work on your mindset and your commitment to achieving whatever it is you want to achieve, and your belief that of your ability. So with real estate, and I think sales, and in general, nothing happens without a personal connection. You will never, ever, ever be successful in real estate if all you do is sit behind a computer,
Mm-hmm.
or all you do is send out direct mail. If you are not capable of having a personal touch, some sort of personal touch, even just writing some people, just whether it's a personal text, making a phone call, visiting people, whatever it is, this is a connection-based business. This is a personality-based business. Nothing happens without that connection. Nothing will happen. So get out there. A lot of people are trying to do everything electronically, and this is where those big companies trying to do everything online are not going to capture enough of the business, because somebody like me who's competing against them is going to come, and I'm going to be a human being, and people would rather talk to humans. No matter how advanced we are as a society, we will always prefer to talk to a human who can actually give us advice, until we have robots who can be just as intuitive. So
Oh, I'm ending it with that, because don't hide behind the technology, and all marketing is H to H, right? Human to human.
humans.
People do business with people.
Yeah. It's about, and just, you need to have a plan, but you have to first know very specifically your goals. You have to know them.
All right, there you have it from hashtag Ruth Rocks. I think we covered everything today: mindset, marketing, money, and mentorship. So Ruth, how can people get in touch with you if they want to talk more?
So I do have a website, ruthmalkinlearner.com, and all of my info is right there. You can also easily reach me at ruth@malkinregroup.com, malkinregroup.com, Malkin RE Group. And I'm just about the easiest person to find, really. All you have to do is Google me, and I'm Ruth Realtor, Ruth Malkin, Realtor, Brookline Ruth. If you can remember my name and you can remember I'm in Boston, I'm just about the easiest person to find.
That's true. Ruth does show up. So just definitely get in touch with Ruth. She has so much brilliance to share. And Ruth, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to share with me and my community how you've built your business on your terms.
Thank you so
Any last
much.
parting words?
First of all, I want to thank you, Stacey, for being such a huge part of this successful endeavor the past few years. Really, you've brought such a great, fresh perspective to everything, and you've really done tremendous things and have allowed me to do tremendous things. And yeah, if any agent is getting stuck, needs help, just give me a call. It's my favorite topic, real estate.
Love it. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in
Thank
today.
you. Thanks.
This is Small Business Stacey, your small biz marketing specialist, here to help you get your marketing into action and help you become a small biz marketing whiz. Bye-bye.
This podcast was brought to you by Small Business Stacey, the small biz marketing specialist. Want to grow your business more in the next 30 days than you have in the past 3 months? Get your free marketing plan at smallbizmarketingspecialist.com. That's small, B-I-Z, marketingspecialist.com.